just told her. How do you think Rudolph got his red nose? Tell you what. I hate this time of year, you know. Because, like, they lie about being good and being bad. But most of the little fuckers get presents anyway. And I don't get the credit for it because the parents buy them. That's a bit too chunky, that one. Are you fucking recording? Merry Christmas. As you can see, we're all decked out. This is the Christmas special. And when I say Christmas special, it just so happens that this video was uploaded on Christmas Day. I'm recording this on the 22nd. We're cheating a little bit. This series, we've got festive beers uploaded throughout December. And yeah, so I thought we'd end on a massive high, even though we're still going to do the festive beers post Christmas Day. But yeah, the secret's out, and that's why the channel's been a bit, skew with. Because as you can see, my main job is preparing for this time of the year. Welcome to another beer review. Let me get rid of this, because that beard is starting to itch me something rotten. Hope everyone's well. Greasy hair, which is the Santa hat, helped. But today, we've got something what should be a little bit special. We're going over to Three Hills Brewing, and we're having a look at Faba, or Trium Faba Barrel Aged Christmas Edition. 8.4% ABV. Looking very festive indeed. And so this is, let's see what it is. Got this from Trembling Madness. Founded in 2017, Three Hills Brewing is a highly experimental, independent, small batch brewery committed to creating interesting, tasty, and innovative drinks, didn't say that properly, for you to enjoy. Christmas, the season of opulent indulgence. To mirror this sentiment in beverage form, we've created a ridiculously complex and decadent Imperial stout based on one of our most popular annual dark releases, Trium Faba. So this is a stout brewed with cacao nibs, tonka and vanilla, and there's a little bit of lactose as well. Yeah, 8.4%. It's on the, the very low side of, will it focus? Because it's a beautiful looking can. Will it focus? Will it focus? Let's fix it. Professional. Hashtag, and it's just gone out of focus again. That's the great thing about cinematic mode. It doesn't really work all that much, especially in artificial light. But yeah, a little bit lower for Imperial Stout. Best hide the evidence. It's only sugar. Anyway, not that I would ever touch that stuff. So, yeah, I do like Three Hills and their Imperial Stouts. I think they brew them really, really well. The ones I've had, anyway. And, speaking of Santa beard, you know what? This is like the thickest, bushiest and biggest my beard has ever been. It's not a proper beard, I know. It's basically like pubic hairs on my face. But is that not what beards are, anyway? But you know what? I look homeless. I don't care. I'm keeping it. I just need to sort this hair out. It's been a lazy day. Well, it's not been a lazy day because I made the mistake of going into Manchester on the 22nd before Christmas, just to pick up a few little more bits and bobs, get my niece the last of her presents, and then dickhead here is going into Liverpool on the 23rd to do a little bit more shopping. So yeah, I just couldn't be bothered washing my hair today. Do you know what I mean? And it was raining anyway, so what does it matter? Yeah, no expenses spurred with our decorations this year. I think I've alluded to this in previous videos in this series. Long video, by the way. But for no, like, tragic reason, I just can't really be bothered with Christmas. I'm slowly starting to see through the bullshit. And until I have kids, God forbid the world needs me to, I was going to say birth children. There are people in society who believe men can birth children, but that's a completely different subject. And you can't really talk about subjects like that when it's relating to beer because ugliness ensues. But yeah, God forbid I ever breed, because the world doesn't need my children. Yeah, until then, Christmas really is just an excuse to get some nice beer, get some nice food, sit around with people who you tolerate. And yeah, that's what it is for me. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, it's just, I can't be bothered. So that's literally all we've got up in the house, is a small Christmas tree on the wall. But it is what it is, and what it is what it is. So yeah, let's get this beer opened and see what we get. I suppose it's actually good that this isn't like a massive Imperial stout, because the last thing I need is to be hungover, getting the train into Liverpool, and then being surrounded by people. It was bad enough today. Like, the shops were packed, didn't bother me. But do you know what really got on my tits? Why do people walk so fucking slow for no reason? You're not children, you're not elderly, you know, you're not infirm, if that's the correct term. There's no excuse to just go, but it just does my fucking nutting. The amount of times I had to make a slower journey because someone was in front of me dawdling, and it was always in an enclosed space where you can't exactly go around them. And also, what got on my tits today, and the very big tits, I'll say that. Where's the queuing for a bus etiquette gone? Like, public transport wasn't too bad, which I thought that would probably be the worst thing. Aside from me train home from Manchester just disappearing for about 20 minutes with no updates. But that wasn't an issue at all. Bus was a little bit late, so of course the queue's going to be a little bit longer. But it's amazing how you're queuing up and you've got a position in the queue. Yeah, as that bus pulls in, miraculously, there's so many more people in front of you because we're all getting on the same bus. We're going to the same destinations. Just queue in an orderly fashion and don't be a dick and push in front of people. Do you know what I mean? It's just tiny little things like that, which lead me to make jokes about snorting sugar. I think I am becoming a miserable old fuck, even though I'm in my mid-30s, but I look like I'm in my early 20s, so that always gives me comfort. And if Free Hills are watching this review, I do apologise. It's not exactly a social media friendly review to share. Not that anybody in the industry watches any of my reviews. But yeah, beer in the glass then, and yeah, pretty much jet black. With the head was about there before I started ranting, with a nice sort of like coffee cream looking head. Looking very nice, poured very nice as well. Let's see what we get on the nose. Oh man, that's cheered me up. Oh, that smells absolutely wonderful. Definitely get like a vanilla mix with caramel sort of aroma. A little bit of a sticky, sweet oat. and malt. Like caramelized things in general. It's got like a nice cheap chocolate sort of aroma to it. A little bit cakey. Also got a fruitiness to it as well. I'm not too sure what is involved in the sort of like the base or the beer that this is based on. And I'm sure that the name gives it away. Faba barrel aged. I should have looked that up because there's too many things with this beer that I don't know about. But as always, information will be in the description. Regardless, it smells absolutely wonderful. It really, really does. It does smell rich and opulent and decadent. And I'm glad that I didn't commit to keeping the beard on while I did the review, else it would have been ruined. And don't ask why there's a Santa out. It's a full Santa outfit. I think we thought it'd be a funny idea to, well, funny and nice for my niece when she was a little bit younger, to when she came round to open her presents, to dress as Santa. Didn't end well. Nearly got absolutely twatted by a child. But it is what it is, and we just move on. So yeah, smells good, looks good. Apologies for the rant. Let's give it a taste. Ho, ho, ho. First thing I really like about this beer is, even though it's got adjuncts and additions to it, it's not silly. It's really quite a nice, simple, robust, flavoursome stout. Bags full of chocolate in there, dark chocolate, cacao, cocoa powder, that sort of thing. I hope no one walks in, because A, I'm sat in front of a camera dressed in a Santa costume, and B, there's sugar on a... That introduction didn't pan out the way I wanted it to. I couldn't get a good angle on this table where you could actually see me sat here, then the tray placemat before me. So it's not, I mean, and the tripod's broke as well, so it's slightly wonky, like my left eye. But or my right eye, depends which eye's stronger that day. If I don't take the piss out of it, it adds venom to people who do take the piss out of it. So, ho, ho, ho. God, this is a joyful review. But yeah, imagine trying to explain this. Thankfully, I can try and explain this beer. There is a little bit of a fruitiness to it. For some reason, I'm almost getting like a plummy jam in there. The like bitter earthiness of the cacao cuts through that nicely. The vanilla, I suppose it's mixing well with the lactose, where it's not too much of an emphasised flavour, just like a bit of like a tinge. You know, the way you season with salt and pepper. Doesn't necessarily, well, depends how much you put in. Or if you put like a bit of salt when you're baking to bring out the flavour. I think that's what the vanilla and the... excuse me, got that hurt. Vanilla and the lactose do. And obviously lactose combined with the oats gives it a bit more of a body. Faba barrel aged... what's Faba? I'm not too sure what like specific like liquid used to be in the barrels that have aged this beer. It does have a liqueur character to it, almost like a very subtle insert flavour here, coffee liqueur, maybe. You are getting the Tonka in there as well. Adds this slight perfumey, bouncy bar sort of element, but it's not like really Tonka coca. Tonka, fuck off. Tonka coconut. I think that might add a little bit of like a cakiness to it. I'm also getting... God, it's a good job I don't touch this stuff because I'm terrible. Mind you, sugar's a different sort of grain, isn't it, to cocaine. What was I saying? Almost has like a slight frangipane element as well. Even though it's only 8%, it still has a warming feel to it. Unlike this household this Christmas. But yeah, I don't know, I think I was expecting like more of something going into it. But what I've actually got is a pleasant surprise. Because of how just sort of like reined in and sensible it tastes. And do you know what? It's got a Christmassy feel to it. But I don't know, there's just something in me thinking... Don't know what that is. I don't know. Ladies? God, that's so crass. Okay. But yeah, I don't know. Because from previous experience with Three Hills Brewing, there's always been like a really intense, very specific, intense characteristic. But this still has that richness. It's still a very robust tasting beer. You taste the stout, which is always a good thing for me. I like silly beers. I like silly stouts. I like basically drinking alcoholic chocolate milkshake, don't get me wrong. But I like it when I get a stout like this as well. And it fits the brief. It's got that nice, simple, almost geometric style to it. It's got a handy map on the can as well. Definitely a place I'd like to go to. But yeah, I think with like their stouts and their sours, that's where they really excel. The only time I've ever had sort of like a boring or like less satisfying experience with Three Hills was with some of their pale beers. But to be honest, every brewery makes a boring or shit pale ale, IPA, double IPA. You know, even those breweries renowned for their juice, sometimes you'll have them, oh, he's making points again, and he always makes in videos, where a brewery will release like 5 hoppy beers, and I don't know, there's people who probably buy every release from a specific brewery when it's released, and you could drink them and then you wouldn't really find too much difference from beer to beer. So anyway, that was a good gag though, wasn't it, about how Rudolph got his red nose. Anyway, so yeah, really underwhelming Christmas special. You must be having a very underwhelming Christmas as well if you're taking time to watch this on Christmas Day. I jest, of course. I do appreciate it. And yeah, I've still not actually got the videos uploaded for the 24th, 23rd and 22nd. So there's a gap, but I wanted to get this done straight away. I wanted to do it while there's no one in the house so I could dress up like Santa, like a fucking weirdo, and get this review done. And yeah, lovely, lovely little beer that. obviously I don't know what the barrel is, so I can't really comment on that side of things. You do get that sort of like liqueur, sort of spirit-esque character to it. You know, like the sort of like the botanicals of what you'd get in those sorts of things, because there is an earthiness there to it. Lovely texture to the beer. One of my main gripes with barrel aged beers a lot of the time is the barrel will make the beer a little bit thinner and a little less satisfying on the palate, but this gets the job done, man. Don't say man. At least I didn't say mate, because I just can't for the life of me say the word mate without it sounding a bit... Did he just say mate? Anyway. Yeah, hope everyone's had a very Merry Christmas. Hope you got what you wanted. Hope some of you got what you deserved as well. That's a terrible thing to say. But yeah, it's just like Christmas. It's just... If you're lucky to have good company around you, I think that's the greatest thing of all, you know. Christmas will be hard for a lot of people because they will have lost people this year. Unfortunately, some people will lose, you know, family members and friends on the run up to Christmas as well. Can't even imagine what that must feel like. But all joking aside, just if you're lucky enough to have a nice Christmas, then make the most of it. If you're not, my heart goes out to you. I'm terrible at responding to comments. I'm terrible at responding to messages from like friends and family. But I'll always say, if anybody feels like they need someone to talk to or to reach out, I'm a stranger, but you know, sometimes strangers are the best people to talk to when you know, going through stuff. Because it's not a perspective of someone who you're linked with, if that makes sense. And sometimes you're a bit guarded, aren't you, from talking with family and friends, even if you're ridiculously close. But yeah, don't fret about spending stupid amounts of money. We shouldn't have to, really. You know, you have a specific day to show our appreciation for the people who we love and care about. But at the same time, you want to make the best of it, don't you? You want to, you know, make memories and things like that. So, but at the same time, there's people who, you know, aren't lucky enough to be in that position, and it's a shit time of the year. It's just the same with like Valentine's Days, and it's a shit time of the year for a lot of people as well. But you know, you've got to stay strong. Help is always there. There's always people who will listen. Some people might not be able to specifically help, but you know what I mean. That's what it's all about, really, isn't it? I think me doing these videos is a form of like therapy as well, to be honest. And as someone who's gone through counselling and then got to a point in the counselling where I was just telling the person what I know they wanted to hear because I was getting bored fucking shitless of it. You know, the last couple of years, very high, very low compared to previous years. So, you know, I get it. I absolutely get it. But like I said, I'm not having a bad Christmas because of that. I'm just having it just because I think it's so shallow, and it, you know, can sometimes bring out the worst in people, can't it? The one-upmanship, do you know what I mean? It's just bullshit, isn't it, really, Christmas? Anyway, yeah. Capitalism. Although I do like capitalism because capitalism allows me to work to buy a phone that I can record videos on and treat myself to nice things that, you know, all year round there are things that I buy that I can't really afford. But yeah, so I'm a little bit of a hypocrite. Anyway, don't know if that was a Christmas message or not. But yeah, it's just, it's a shit time of the year for a lot of people. It's a shit bogus celebration. Unless you've got kids. That's really the only thing I can see as good about Christmas, is seeing, you know, your kids, your nieces, your nephews, your younger sisters, brothers, your stepkids, whatever, just seeing the smile on their faces. And that's what it's about, really, at the end of the day, isn't it? Not spending stupid amounts on beer like I've done this past week. It's one of those rare situations where I've actually got a good supply of beer, which never happens, because when I do a beer haul, it's gone dead quickly because I just have no self-control and probably some underlying problems that need to be addressed. Anyway, joking aside, you all take care. I hope you've had as best of a Christmas as you possibly can, and yeah, thank you for sticking with me. And yeah, there's not a day go by. Well, there is, because sometimes you forget, don't you? You forget to appreciate. Stop going into Jerry's final thoughts. You've not even got a thumbnail of beer and you've nearly drank it all. So yeah, thank you for watching. Father Christmas isn't real, and you all take care. Love yous.